Well, loyalty is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
To the point you've called me crazy.
I love it. I'm such a nerd. I get so excited about it. I'm like, ooh, I found another case, and then this case is this, and then this is a little bit different, but this is the same.
I just wasn't used to waiting. I was so hungry to get to the next step. I hated having to ask for permission.
Every year on June 10th, I call her. I'm like, naked party day.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cristina Perez Hesano, and this is Verdicts Vogue. And I am excited to have Katherine Anderson, I call her Katie, here with me today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers. So, Katie, this is the second time that Katie's been on. The first time didn't air, only because, for those who are watching this, Katie and I are extremely good friends. She's probably one of my very few friends. I have a lot of acquaintances, but one of my very few friends. And we tried taping an episode and we were so not ourselves that when I watched it, I was like, okay, we can't air this and we have to do it again.
So here we are.
Yeah. How do you feel today?
Good.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself for those who are listening.
Okay. I'm in my mid-40s. Amazing. I don't know how I made it this far. Mother of three.
Yes, three wonderful kids.
Wonderful children. My son's 22. My girls are 16 and 18. I'm almost through the high school years.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. And I say my son is almost done with college. Just a little bit more to go.
And your middle is on her way to college.
Yep, next year.
She also works at our office during all breaks, summer and winter breaks, and babysits my kids since she was like 14 years old.
She does. She's so cute.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
And then my baby is a lifeguard for the city, and she loves it. She teaches little kids to swim. It's very cute.
Very cute.
Yeah, she gets her license this weekend.
Ooh. And you're an attorney?
I'm also an attorney.
And you're a badass attorney?
I am an attorney. I'm a badass. Yeah.
Yeah. So your background is bankruptcy, but also state litigation, right? Kind of, how would you define it?
Mostly federal court. I started out in bankruptcy at a bankruptcy boutique, and then I moved into...
You took my job. Remember that?
No. I took your clerkship.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy that I got that job. Because, like Lucy was 3 weeks old when I went to law school. My grades were terrible. I never
got my clerkship because you got it. No,
yeah.
It's okay.
I don't know how I got it. You know why? Doug has told, that might be taboo, but Doug told me, I said, I worked at a prison. He said, how was that? And I said, it was fun. He was like, she can definitely handle this.
You thought working at a prison was fun?
It was fine.
You have like one of the best personalities where you just like go with the flow. Total opposite than me, because I am not go with the flow ever.
I never knew that I was go with the flow until you told me. And I was
everything.
Like, really?
Yeah. You are so like, things could be like falling apart around you and kids crying and all this mayhem, chaos. And you're like, it's fine. We'll figure it out. And I'm like already writing a list and trying to figure out, okay, what's our plan? And you're like, you're good. Take a breath.
Like, it'll be fine.
So I was excited to have you on today. Just kind of, I don't think that many people know me as well as you do. I know. And we have, and recently someone told me, actually, someone told me that the reason people don't know me very well is because I'm so closed off. And I thought, perfect timing. I'm going to have Katie on so she can talk about our friendship. And we will talk about the law and your business and how you're thriving and so forth. But let's talk about something fun first.
About how closed off you are? Is that the fun thing? Why is Cristina so closed off? Now I want to know who told you that.
An old friend, an old friend who I've known for 20 years. I was talking to him while he was in Nashville, and he said to me, he goes, Chris, he goes, you know why that things happen a certain way? And I said, I don't know. He goes, you were just one of the most closed off people, always guarded that I've ever met. And I'm like, I've gotten better.
No, and I think that's the word I would use. I wouldn't say you're closed off. I would say you're careful. And that's not a bad trait.
To be that, no.
Yeah, because I'm not careful, as we know. And sometimes I end up in situations that I could have avoided if I had.
Well, you're a very welcoming personality. You have everyone at your house for holidays and
even if my house is like a disaster. Yeah.
Dude, I remember one time you were hanging out with me and we were at some happy hour, and you're like, oh, I have a party. It was like a big shindig for like some organization, and it was at your house in like 45 minutes. And you're like, I got to go to my house. And I'm like, how? I can't even begin to. Yeah. And you pull it off. You always pull it off, and everyone has fun.
I don't know. One of my friends sent me a poem one time that was like, the house that's always like warm and receiving, but not perfect. And I was like, my house isn't perfect, which it's not. It's never perfect, but it is always like warm. You can come in. There will always be food.
Yeah, that's
Everybody's
true.
always welcome.
There's a lasagna that has my name on out there that I keep waiting for, but you know.
It was there. You didn't need it.
So closed offness. I think as part of being an attorney, you can approach it a couple ways, right? And it took us about 10 years to become friends, right? 10 years for us to actually really become friends. For those who don't know, Katie and I both started in bankruptcy. She was in Tucson. I was in Phoenix. And there's not a lot of bankruptcy attorneys that speak Spanish. I've learned that along the way. And really, there was only probably in the time when I started, maybe a handful, like 3 or 4. I think it was me, Jody Corrales, Cynthia Lopez was her name. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and
love
then
her.
Maria Mathis, who's now
at the court.
And
she's always been at the court.
She's always been at the court. And she's high up in the court. Like she's like ranking number 2, right? For the clerk, assistant clerk.
Yeah.
And it was really a handful. And then you spoke Spanish. So everyone assumed that you were Hispanic.
Yeah.
They know. Even the judges.
And my name, and my ex-husband's name was Sanchez. So my name was Sanchez.
Oh, that's right. I actually just changed your name in my phone to Katie Anderson instead of Katie Sanchez, by the way. It took me a while, but I did. And then we ended up kind of knowing each other superficially until you had an experience where your ex-husband suffered a traumatic brain injury, and then I handled that case.
You did.
Right.
Yeah. And I would say we were kind of more acquaintances before that.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah, we went through that process, which was a lot.
It's hard. I mean, you're now doing personal injury because you work on catastrophic cases with me and we work together, and I've been having the best time. We've had a great year. Yeah. But do you think that you've gained any perspective having gone through and living through a situation where all of a sudden your loved one suffers a traumatic brain injury, his personality changed completely, and then all of a sudden you're left with someone, you have someone that you've been married to for I don't know how many years, and they're just not the same person anymore. Right. It's like an invisible injury. Yeah. Do you think that's affected or helped you understand what we deal with on the other side now that we're actually prosecuting these cases?
Yeah. And I think even that's like a metaphor for life, right? Every experience that you have teaches you how to handle something new. I was actually thinking about exactly that this morning.
Were you?
Yeah. So it was, I mean, now that I'm litigating it, I think I am much more sensitive to the clients and to not even just the client, but their family, right? Sure. That's like, this is crazy. Who is this person? What is going on? But you feel such guilt in saying that, right? Because you're like, no, this is my husband. You know, we were going to be together forever. That was our plan. Or this is my dad. What's going on? Yeah. So it's a really hard experience. And I think, living that with clients I can relate, and it's rough.
Yeah. And unfortunately in that situation, your marriage ended in a divorce, right? I think it was like 2019.
Someone else asked me that today, and I was really? Like, 20.
I know the date because it was you, Maria, and myself all together. We used to run. This is in the time where we were running like half marathons at the time, and we would practice every weekend, and we would just run the crap out of our legs, and then talk about all of our BS stuff that we were going through at that time. It was like right before. I think it was like 2000. It had to be 2019 because Enzo was 1. It was before he got diagnosed. And then before all the stuff happened with my marriage and then you had your thing with your marriage, and then Maria happened. Right. And it was like, yeah, we all kind of went through this whole thing together at that time. I think that's when we actually became real friends. Like I would consider like it solidified it. Like you became like my ride or die. And once you're in, it's like blood in, blood out for me. Yeah.
I know you're extreme like that. I mean, I think
loyalty's a big thing for me. Yeah. To the point you've called me crazy too. You're like, let's not get like, all right, what'd you call me? Like God, all right, Godfather. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. But I think loyalty is important. I think I tend to like give that quicker.
Mhm.
You reserve it.
I do.
You have to earn it. For me, I'm like, super loyal at the beginning, and then people like eliminate themselves on their own.
I can't handle that. I'm like more of a stay at arm's length until you come in, right? And then once you're in, there's really people don't go out. Like I keep my friends forever.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the way I approach it. I think I approach that in my business as well. All right. So Sophia, like most of our staff at my office our team has been together for years. I mean, years. Mm-hmm. And so we don't have a lot of turnover, thank God. But because having turnover is a pain in the bum. You've experienced this recently.
I've experienced that. Mm-hmm.
Right. So having the right team to be aligned with your vision is such a big deal when you have your own business. Yeah. Right. And so for me, with having Sophia and Hope and Kim and Steve, that's how we started. And then adding Jeff, who I'd been working with in 2012, and then all the other, everyone else that kind of came afterwards. We had a little bout where it was a couple of changes and one seat in the litigation department. But then besides that, we've had people pass away. We've had people retire, but we haven't had a lot of turnover because I like to foster in my team. I believe in them. So I want to show them how to do better, be better, pay for CLEs, pay for trips, I want that experience. If you're coming and working together, I want to be able to go to work and like love who I work with. Yeah. So, and I guess that's a kind of extreme. I just don't want to have that corporate feel. I don't think I wanted to be, I don't think I can be corporate, to be honest with you.
No, it's not fun. I did it for a long time.
And that's the thing. You come from the corporate background because you did big law for a long time.
I did. Yeah.
So tell us about that.
I was at 2 national firms. I worked with amazing people, really, really smart. Everyone's very smart, very hard workers. Mm-hmm. Like that's,
it's like a cut above, right? Everyone's a cut above where you came from.
Everyone's really bright. Some of them are lacking in social skills, but but they're so smart. They're so smart. You never, I still will call people and I'm like, okay, I did this and they did this and I did this and what's next? What's going on? What am I doing? Just to talk that through with those colleagues because they are just really smart lawyers. But it is a little, there's a level of coldness and, things that don't matter. Mm-hmm. Whereas when it's just you or when it's a smaller environment, you can care about those things, Sure. And I don't think it's nothing against big law. You just can't care about those things when you have, 750 attorneys plus how much staff, Mm-hmm.
My thing is with the big laws, I can't deal with the politics. I'm not very good at, so I think that's why I went out in business on my own because I just wasn't used to waiting. I was so hungry to get to the next step. I hated having to ask for permission when I knew something was the right thing to do. Yeah. Even if I didn't make money on it, I wanted to help a client just to help the client. And my boss was like, well, you can't take that pro bono. And I'm like, the heck I can't. So I ended up starting a firm on my own.
Yeah. And I think that's what happened to me ultimately. I think I put up with it for a long time because I had to, because, I had the little kids and then I was by myself and it was a lot. So I was really scared for a long time to go out on my own because we talked about it for
ever.
Yeah. For
I gave you an ultimatum. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, not an ultimatum, like you have to decide either shit or get off the pot. Stop talking about this, make your plan and go. And because you have such a big following of people you've worked with and you're super bright. Right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love your research. When your research comes across my desk, I'm like, oh, this is done right.
I love it. I'm such a nerd. I get so excited about it. I'm like, ooh, I found another case and then this case is this and then this is a little bit different, but this is the same. I
won't disclose your LSAT score, but whatever. I know it's higher than mine.
Yeah.
Oh, so you go from that environment being in big law and then finally you realize, okay, and I remember the case. that kind of did you in. You're like, because you had this great case, the ability to take this case, the ability to run with this case, but it was in a controversial topic dealing with guns. Remember that? Do you remember that?
I forgot about that one.
I know.
Still pending that case, yeah.
And you had this whole thing and they gave you the runaround.
Right. Yeah, they did for a long time. I talked to multiple people and I was like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this?
And it was a fantastic case.
I know, an opportunity. I mean, that would have gone to will probably still go to the Supreme Court. There's a lot of good argument, a lot of good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great case. I forgot about that. That's right. That was really, I was like, okay. And then the other thing that happened was I had a client come in who wanted me to do just a normal like enforcement of a loan. And but they needed a lower rate because my rate was something like $800 an hour or something. And they wanted to pay like $500, which is reasonable for this market. Yeah. So it took me like 2 days to get approval, and I had to explain to everyone what I was doing and why I was doing it and who I was doing. And it was just like, oh, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
For something that like I was clearly capable of doing, and there was no reason it should have been.
Well, there was also the bank work. Somebody approached you to do like bankruptcy stay relief work, which for those who are listening, when you're in bankruptcy, in order for a bank to pursue and capture their collateral, they have to ask the bankruptcy court for permission. And so it's called a motion for stay relief. And though it's not difficult work. It's when people don't pay, you file this motion and so forth, and they wouldn't let you do it. Yeah. Remember that? And I think at that point I looked at you, I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, why are you doing this? Yeah. And you took a leap of faith.
I did.
When did you go out on your own? Remember?
Yeah, June 10th, 2024, Naked Party Day.
Did you say Naked Party Day? Did you?
My friend, her birthday.
Just for the record, I was not part of that Naked Party Day. I was nowhere near that Naked Party Day.
My friend's birthday is June 10th. And maybe 10 years ago, I had a wall calendar and she wrote on there Naked Party Day. So when every year on June 10th, I call her, I'm like, Naked Party Day. So I started my firm on Naked Party Day, 2024. Okay. Yeah.
Did you fill out your LLC paperwork clothed or unclothed?
I cannot respond to that. I cannot confirm or deny.
Can either confirm or deny? Maybe. So you started, and then you rented space from my office, right? And was that right in June 1st?
Yeah, June 10th. Yeah,
June 10th.
Right in June. Yeah, I left the firm. I opened up, like I finished with the firm end of May, and then or maybe the first week in June, and then I opened up in your spot right about that same time and just ran with it. And
dude, I love working with my best friend.
I know, it's so fun, right?
I know. I get to go see you whenever you're in the office. I get to hang out with you just when I need a break. And it's awesome. And
I've gotten so into being in the office now. Like I'm there all the time, way more than I ever thought I would be.
Well, you went from dealing in, I mean, you still have your bank clients and you still have your creditor rights and bankruptcy, and great. But then I kind of threw like a curveball and I was like, hey, would you think, or would you consider doing these cases dealing in personal injury? And you're like, yeah. And you flipping knocked it out of the park.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I know it wasn't easy because it was like a different lingo, different whole thing. But tell us about that, because you started. I want to know about your experience, your perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I have the litigation background, right? Like I've litigated cases. I've run them through from the beginning to the end. I've done depositions. I had done bench trials, never jury trial, but bench trials. And, so I get it, but it's always contract enforcement. It's always like, there was a dispute in a business, what happened, or there's a lease, or there's a contract, or there's something, This is so different because it's really based on the person's experience, and the other side is constantly telling you that the person is lying. Yeah. I mean, everybody's
trying to mitigate something, because that's all defense attorneys do. Oh, it wasn't our fault. We didn't do it. Right. Oh, yes, we did it, but it wasn't that bad. Or yes, we did it. It was bad, but it would have happened anyway. Right. So you got your three defenses. Yeah. Like, either way, not that bad.
And it's all questions of fact, always. Yeah.
And I think that's why we work well, because you are so good when it comes to contract. Like, I know we can't talk about it because the case is still it's still going strong. And you just were in the process of determining whether defense counsel got fired or if defense counsel got replaced because of the work you did. But in that case, you managed to take the lease and you just did such a great job with it. And you do so well when it comes to like those contract things. And I think you like punt over the damages to me, where I'm like, oh, we need to do A, B, and C. And it's like together, it's like such a force that, I mean, you had in your first year of personal injury, you had a 7-figure 7-figure resolution. That's awesome.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous too, if you think about it. And it was more than just $1 million.
Yeah, it was. And it was way more than that was a lot. And it was so fun though. And and we got it done early. That one I think could have gone the distance. But because we pushed it. They could have done it, but also we have to take into consideration our client in that situation. And, I don't know if it would have, if it would have been if it would have gone as well if we would have pushed it because of other client variables that we had going on. I think that's right. And I think the way that
don't be afraid to hit that glass, girl.
I think the way we set that up. I think the way we set that up.
This is my third podcast today.
Done. And I've been in my office looking at the law, really excited because I keep finding things like quotes that are perfect for my memo. And I'm like, yes.
Is that our mediation next week?
That's it for this episode. Next week, we continue the conversation with Katie Anderson and go deeper into building a firm on your own terms, trusting your instincts, and what real partnership looks like.